Alright, let's dive straight into this Rangers storm that's been shaking Ibrox and putting everyone on edge. The start of this season has been nothing short of chaotic, and for a club like Rangers, that's not something fans take lightly. 5 matches in the Scottish Premiership without a single victory is already alarming. But when you add that crushing Champions League exit against Club Brugge, losing 9-1 on aggregate, the alarm bells start ringing even louder. Russell Martin barely had time to settle into the dugout and already finds himself under pressure like few managers before him. But football is never just about the bad news. Even in the middle of a poor run, there are always glimpses of light, and one of those comes in the shape of a young French winger, Jody Gassama. Signed from Sheffield Wednesday for just over £2 million, Gassama has shown flashes of exactly why Rangers moved for him. He's hit the ground running in Europe, netting 4 times in Champions League qualifiers and even adding an assist. For a newcomer adjusting to Scottish football, that's no small feat. His pace, energy, and fearlessness on the flank have made him an instant talking point, and many believe he could grow into a real attacking weapon. Still, there's a catch. As good as Gassama has looked under the European lights, his domestic record is yet to convince. In the league, he hasn't managed to find the net, and that's where the concerns lie. Fans are desperate for a player who can carry the weight week in and week out, someone who can create and finish chances consistently. And naturally, the comparisons start pouring in with a familiar name, Ryan Kent. When you think back to Steven Gerrard's famous title-winning campaign in the 2020-21 season, Ryan Kent was absolutely central to that triumph. He wasn't just a player who hugged the touchline and sent crosses into the box. Kent was versatile, dynamic, and unpredictable. He could beat a man down the wing, cut inside and finish himself, or link up in tight spaces. Across his Rangers career, he delivered over 30 goals and more than 50 assists in over 200 appearances. That's not only production, that's consistency over several years. Since Kent's departure in the summer of 2023, Rangers have struggled to truly replace him. Yes, there was a League Cup win under Philippe Clement, but in the Premiership, the spark hasn't been there on the left flank. The balance, the creativity, and the reliability Kent brought simply haven't been matched. For 2 full seasons now, supporters have been crying out for someone to step up and make that position their own again. And while Gassama has potential, there's another name buzzing around Ibrox that could very well represent the future, Finley Curtis. Only 18 years of age, Curtis has already managed to put his name on the scoresheet in the Premiership this season, something Gassama has yet to do. His rise from the B team has been rapid, and the numbers back it up. 4 goals and 3 assists in just 8 appearances at youth level before stepping into the first team. That's an output reminiscent of Kent in his early years. Both a scorer and a provider, with that same ability to cut in from the left and cause chaos in the final third. The question now is whether Russell Martin will take the leap and give Curtis the opportunities he needs to grow. Rangers don't just need another flashy winger. They need someone who embodies the reliability and game-changing quality that Kent brought. In a season where Martin is already fighting for his job, putting trust in a teenager might feel like a gamble, but it could also be the exact spark this team is crying out for. That brings us to the bigger picture, the situation of Russell Martin himself. The win against Hibernian in the Premier Sports Cup quarterfinal brought some relief, snapping a 5-game winless streak. It was a much-needed breather for a manager under siege, and for now, the board is standing by him. Andrew Kavanagh has resisted calls for a change, preferring to take it game by game. But let's be honest, this is a fragile balance. One slip in the upcoming fixtures, and the pressure will pile back on immediately. For a man only 39 years of age, Martin finds himself in one of the toughest spots any Rangers boss has been in recent memory. His appointment was not universally popular from the start, and the poor results have only deepened the doubts. Some voices in Scottish football circles have even claimed they've never seen a manager lose the fanbase this quickly. To turn it around from here, to win back the trust of supporters, would not just be a comeback, it could be one of the greatest managerial turnarounds Scottish football has ever witnessed. And then, hovering over all this, are the new American owners. They came in with promises of a brighter future, backed it up with significant investment, and now they expect results. They want the project led by Kevin Thelwell and Patrick Stewart to bear fruit. and their reputations are tied to Martin's success or failure as much as his own. The toxic atmosphere surrounding the club at the moment is dangerous, because once fans turn, it's incredibly difficult to reverse. So here we are, staring at a Rangers side in flux. A team still haunted by the ghost of Ryan Kent, desperately searching for the next figure to light up Ibrox. A manager hanging on to his job, needing both results and belief to survive. And two players, Gimma and Curtis, representing very different paths forward. One a new signing trying to adjust, the other a homegrown talent with the chance to become a legend. The reality for Rangers right now is that the weight of expectation is crushing. Every misstep feels magnified, every draw or defeat a hammer blow. Because this is a club where winning is not just encouraged, it is demanded. The supporters have lived through the highs of title glory, European adventures, and domestic dominance, and they can sense when something isn't right. That is what Russell Martin is facing, a tidal wave of doubt that threatens to wash away his project before it has even taken shape. To survive, he will need not only results on the pitch, but also the bravery to make bold decisions, the kind of decisions that can change the trajectory of a season. Look at the case of Finley Curtis. He is only 18, yet in just a handful of appearances he has managed to inject a spark that has been missing. His first goal for the senior team came with the kind of fearlessness that separates a promising youngster from just another squad player. Curtis does not play with hesitation. He carries himself with the attitude of someone who believes he belongs on the pitch at Ibrox. For a crowd that demands flair and courage, that is exactly what they want to see. It brings back memories of when Ryan Kent first began leaving defenders for dead, when he gave fans the sense that something magical could happen at any moment. Of course, raw talent alone is not enough. Curtis will need patience, guidance, and opportunities, but the risk of waiting too long is that his momentum stalls. That is where Martin must prove he is not afraid to throw a youngster into the fire and let him grow under the pressure of the Premiership. The support has seen it before. They have witnessed academy players blossom into stars when given a real chance, and they are desperate to see one of their own step up again. Meanwhile, Gimma presents another kind of challenge. He is not a product of the Rangers youth system, but a signing brought in to make an instant impact. In Europe, he has already shown he has the tools: blistering pace, quick feet, and the ability to pop up with goals when it matters. The problem is consistency, and the Premiership has not been kind to him so far. That gulf between delivering on European nights and performing in the grind of domestic matches is exactly why Rangers supporters remain cautious. They have seen players come and go who shine brightly in moments, but never truly carry the team when it counts. Gimma has the chance to prove he is not another name on that list, but time is not on his side. Russell Martin himself is living on borrowed time. The victory against Hibernian in the Cup did silence some critics for a short spell, but football moves quickly, and one result never tells the whole story. The truth is that the atmosphere around the club is volatile. Every fan knows the next slip could spark calls for change louder than ever before. Martin must find a way to stabilize performances, to get points on the board, and to rediscover the kind of attacking football that excites the stands and makes Ibrox a fortress again. What complicates matters further is the ownership situation. The American investors who took control earlier this year did so with big promises, insisting that Rangers would be equipped to dominate once more. Significant money was spent, expectations were raised, and patience was never part of the plan. For them, backing Martin now is not just about trusting his ability, it is about defending their own credibility. If the project collapses, the finger will not only be pointed at the man on the touchline, but at those who put him there. That is why every decision Martin makes is so crucial. Whether it is giving more minutes to Curtis, persisting with Gimma despite his Premiership struggles, or reshuffling the system entirely, he cannot afford to get it wrong. The Scottish Premiership is unforgiving, and Celtic's shadow always looms. Rangers supporters do not just want progress, they want trophies, and they want them soon. The pressure is doubled when their greatest rivals are waiting for any slip to stretch the gap at the top. The debate among fans now is whether Martin truly has the steel to handle this job. His time at Southampton showed promise, but managing Rangers is a different beast altogether. Here, the margin for error is paper thin. A manager can be adored one week and doubted the next. It has happened before, and unless Martin finds a way to bring victories consistently, it will happen again. There is also the intangible element, the connection between manager and supporters. Right now, that bond feels weak. From the very start, many felt his appointment was underwhelming, and the rough beginning has only confirmed their fears. To rebuild that trust, it will not be enough to scrape by with narrow wins. The fans want to see identity, passion, and a plan that convinces them Rangers are on the path back to glory. This is where the idea of a comeback of all comebacks emerges. If Martin somehow steadies the ship, turns the season around, and delivers silverware, it would go down as one of the most remarkable recoveries in Scottish football history. Because right now, the odds are stacked heavily against him. His side looks fragile, confidence is low, and yet, within that chaos, there are glimmers of hope. Young players like Curtis represent a future that could be brighter than the present. Signings like Gimma might still flourish if given time. And the infrastructure behind the scenes has been designed to support long-term success. But long-term means little if short-term results do not arrive. The fixtures ahead are critical, not just for Martin's career, but for the entire project set in motion by the board. Every game is a test, every performance scrutinized, every point dropped another dent in an already battered armor. For Rangers, this is not just another chapter in the season. It feels like a turning point, a crossroads where the club must decide whether to persist with Martin and hope for a turnaround or cut ties before the damage becomes irreversible. What cannot be ignored is the voice of the fans. They are the lifeblood of the club, and once they decide they have had enough, the noise becomes deafening. Martin is in a race against time to change their perception, to turn boos into cheers and doubt into belief. The only way he can achieve that is with results on the pitch and performances that remind everyone what Rangers stand for. The path is narrow, but it is still there, waiting for someone brave enough to walk it. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Explosive times are afoot at Ibrox. Rumors are swirling like a Highland gale that Rangers have sealed deals for none other than JOTA and Scott McTOMINAY, and the old firm faithful are buzzing like never before. While nothing's been officially confirmed, whispers around the corridors of power suggest that these two additions could catapult Rangers into a new era of dominance in Scottish football. JOTA, the nimble forward known for his electric pace and eye for goal, is said to have caught the eye of Rangers scouts during his stints in the English top flight. His knack for turning tight spaces into scoring opportunities would give Rangers a cutting edge against any opposition in the Premiership. Fans are already dreaming of late runs into the box, curling shots from the edge of the area, and that signature trickery that leaves defenders grasping at thin air. Then there's McTOMINAY, the Scottish powerhouse in midfield. Known for his tireless work rate, pinpoint passing, and uncanny ability to break up attacks, McTominay's presence would not only stiffen Rangers' spine, but also add an unmistakable aura of grit and determination. Imagine him patrolling the midfield, snapping tackles, and launching counterattacks with surgical precision. The pairing of McTominay's strength with JOTA's flair seems almost too perfect, sparking speculation that Rangers could steamroll their domestic rivals in the seasons to come. Of course, skeptics are warning that signings alone don't guarantee glory. Chemistry on the pitch, adaptation to Scottish football's unique pace and physicality, and the pressure of playing at Ibrox night after night are all factors that could shape the narrative. But the mere idea of seeing Rangers line up with this duo has supporters whispering about a potential era of unchallenged supremacy, with Celtic and other challengers left chasing shadows. The rumor mill shows no sign of slowing down. Social media is ablaze with mock lineups, fanciful formations, and bold predictions of trebles and unbeaten runs. Whether this turns out to be Rangers' masterstroke or just another pipe dream, one thing is clear. Excitement is back in Glasgow, and the Ibrox faithful are ready to roar louder than ever. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.